Hello, YouTube. Good to see you. Happy Monday. Merry holidays for you, whatever holiday you celebrate for you. Welcome to this week's live stream. Glad to have you here. I apologize for the music. I didn't realize that was getting all wonky. I didn't have my ears in. I was talking to TikTok. We got TikTok right here on the phone. Hi, TikTok. Mel, one of my videos worked for changing your mindset. Well, which one? Don't leave me hanging. Which one was it? So, hey, if you got any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. We'll take those. Same with y'all on TikTok. We'll take some of y'all's. Before we dive into it, I want to remind everybody, I have a free event. I do 2 of them a year, and this year is no exception to that. And I am doing, hold on, can I pull it up this way? Okay. Let's see if this is going to work. All right, hold on. I should, in theory, be able to go, well, do I have one that shares my screen? Screen share. Ah, close enough. All right, we can make this work. All right, you know what? Here, we'll do this. There you go. Whyistheway.me. This is my free workshop. Did I mention it's free? Free does not mean cheap. I put a lot into this. I've been planning this for a while, and I am not stopping. But I would love to have you come join my 3-day workshop in January. Again, totally free. Will completely revolutionize how you see the weight loss journey. I'm going to give you your roadmap for success. No, that's not a cliche. I'm actually going to tell you what I've learned from teaching weight loss for years. You can head on over to whyistheway.me and register for that. It's January 6th through the 8th from 6:30 to 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. All right. Mel, it was one where I was taking my stepdaughter for a walk. Oh, well, now I don't remember which one that was. GMay93, how do I get rid of back rolls? That's a good question. Anybody else hate back rolls? I hate back rolls. Back rolls suck. But sometimes we got to have them. And to get rid of them, you just keep losing weight. Unfortunately, you cannot target where you lose weight from. You just have to keep going, and eventually it'll go where it goes from. Lauren, the Why is the Way event completely changed the trajectory of my life. It's what made me join the Guild, and the Guild has been the best thing I've ever done for myself. Lauren, I'm so glad that you had that experience last year. This year's even better. I'm very excited for this year's workshop. Last year's great, and it's in the Guild if anybody wants to see it, but this year's, I'm really excited. Patricia, you're registered? Excellent. So excited to have you registered for that event. It's going to be awesome. Norwegian, can you ask what earbuds I'm using? So these are not normal ones. For those that are curious, these are in-ear monitors. You can see I got this cable that runs down. I've actually got a wireless setup, but this allows me to monitor my own voice as well as, if I do, which actually I need to cue this up. Let's say somebody shares a win, which, by the way, if you want to share a win, I can bring up the music bed, and then I can listen to it. This button won't stop working, and it keeps firing off the crickets. We might have a lot of random crickets today. I don't know how to fix it. Actually, can I fix that while I'm live with you? Let's see. Hold on. Smart pads. Crickets. Oh, well, I don't know that I want to delete it. I like them. You know what? Whatever. Delete. There we go. Now there's no more crickets. Can't accidentally set off the crickets. Anyway, so these are in-ear. These are not great for listening to music. Hey, somebody asked right here, when am I opening the Guild again? The Guild is opening in January. The Guild is opening in January. So if you want to join the Guild, January is going to be the time to do it. Looking forward to having you be a part of that. Let's see. What's this right here? Tina's question above. Oh, Tina's question above. Aha, we got a question. Let's jump into it. All right. What are some ways to sit in your feelings? Heard the term sit with your discomfort in terms of processing your feelings, but it's hard to understand what that looks like. When you're sad, be sad. When you're happy, be happy. When you're upset, be upset. When you're lost, be lost. When you are focused, be focused. Sit in your feelings means be, or not be, but experience whatever the feeling it is you're feeling. You don't need to run from it. And that can be really difficult. because some feelings are remarkably unpleasant to experience. But this is important to do because our emotions, if they get too intense, they can really cause us to make decisions that if we weren't under the influence of the emotion, we otherwise wouldn't have made. Anger is a big one. Sadness is a big one. Rage, frustration. These are all things that might cause us to do something differently than if we weren't under the spell of the emotion. And so one of the things I have found that helps when you're feeling an emotion is do nothing. Don't do anything. A lot of times people think like, I need to do something. I'm so mad, I need to do something. I'm so sad, I need to do something. I'm so happy, I need to do something. I'm so excited, I need to do something. You don't always need to do something, right? You don't always need to do something. Okay. Davey, I don't know who you are, and I don't speak that language, unfortunately. So don't spam the chat. If you spam the chat, I'm going to kick you out. Let's see. Faz, Abdullah, bro. I tried Ozempic and it causes issues. Well, sorry to hear that. Ozempic is not a cure-all. Let's see. Small win today, finding an F3 group while out of town to work. I'm not sure what F3 is. F3. Is that a fitness thing? Okay. All right. I don't know. All right. Sorry, dude. You're getting banned. Ban. There we go. Had to ban that Davey guy. He was blowing up my chat, and I don't like that. Hey, hi, bro. Another bro. Greetings from Indonesia. Well, happy to have you. Cooking dentist. I work as a dentist, and I feel miserable all day long. And when I go home, I just eat and sleep. Well, do something else. I mean, I know that sounds silly, but like, make a schedule. Plan something else to do. Let's see. What's this we got here? We got this comment coming up here. There's two names on it. I'm not sure who it is, but let's see. Is that a Michael and Stephanie Lynch hit 125 pounds lost. I love that. Nervous about a holiday meal coming up. Any suggestions? Have some. You don't have to go crazy with the volume, right? You can always maintain. Maintaining is always victory. But congratulations on 125 pounds. You know what to do. If you've lost 125 pounds, you know what to do. You just don't go overboard. F3 is a free men's fitness group. Oh, cool. I had never heard of that. So excellent to know that exists. I just learned something today. Brianna, losing weight for the first time in the Christmas season. I'm maintaining was the biggest lie I told myself in the past. Yeah. Let's see. Morning, just incredible. I loved your post about making small enough changes to just move the scale. No huge changes. Yes, minimum effective dose. You don't need to change too much. The minimum effective dose is all you're looking for. You should always feel like you could do a little bit more. That's actually a good sign, to feel like you could do a little bit more. Let's see. Kate's got a small win for us. I work in the ER and so many treats available for us. I think I've practiced no thank you more in the last week than I have my whole life. Oh, yeah. The whole no thank you thing is. And learning to say no thank you without invoking the weight loss card. That is very helpful. Very, very helpful if you cannot invoke the weight loss card. River, I've been really enjoying myself during the holidays. I'm glad to hear that. It's been interesting eating to my heart's content and then resuming on my journey. Yes, you see, this is the part that I liked about it. Is I realized I can eat whatever I want. It's still the volume thing, right? If I want some chocolate, I can have chocolate. 19 pieces of chocolate in the evening 4 times in a week is too much chocolate, right? So it's not that the chocolate was the problem, it was the volume. So I love that. Good morning. Merry Christmas Eve to you as well. Good to see you. Misty, from one Terrell to another, happy holidays. Oh, and I got another Terrell in here. That's fun. Do I have a lot of loose skin? I don't have a lot of loose skin. I have some loose skin. Loose skin is... Some people got a lot, and it sucks. Some people have not as much. It sucks less, but still sucks. Loose skin is one of those, it's like, for me, it's mostly here. And like when I gained even just a little bit of fat, it's not held tight against my body. It just sort of sags and hangs there. Yeah, that's not my favorite thing. That's not my favorite thing. I don't much like that. But what can I do about it, right? I mean, I could go get it cut off, but that's major surgery. And I'm not particularly eager to go get major surgery. So I just live with it. Let's see. Ace of Hearts, X3. After counting call, it seems the important thing is to gain awareness of how many calories are in foods. I call this caloric awareness. It's really important to have caloric awareness, to be aware of how many calories are in the foods that you're eating. It'd be like spending awareness, right? I love it when people are like, tracking calories, just disordered eating. I'd be like, well, that's like, or no, people be like, looking at the calories, that's disordered eating, looking at the calories. And it's like, well, no, what? That'd be like saying looking at the prices of things before you buy it is disordered spending. What? Like, no, knowing the price of something before you buy it is called wise spending. It's called taking personal accountability. It's called being informed. Knowing the calories of the food you eat makes you informed. Oh, but it makes me feel bad because I want to eat all this food and there's too many calories. I feel triggered. Good. Feel a little triggered. Maybe it'll cause you to do something. I am not one of those people that thinks being triggered is a universally bad thing. I think sometimes the reason why some of y'all don't make progress is because you refuse to let yourself be unhappy. But unhappiness is what will compel a lot of people to change. But no, what do a lot of people do? Let me eat food to bring the level of unhappiness down because I deserve to feel better. Let me go play a video game. Let me go dive into a movie. Let me go get all caught up in somebody else's drama so that I can feel better. Well, maybe you should not feel better so that you will go, I'm unhappy and I should do something about it. But that's just my opinion. I mean, you don't have to share it. Let's see, Chris. Whiting? Currently on my journey, I've lost 96 pounds. 96 pounds? That's fantastic. 96 pounds. That's 4 away from 100 pounds. That's awesome. All right. So grateful they found it. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you as well, Chris. Thank you. Let's see what else we got here. Norwegian. Better to have loose skin than being overweight with a shorter lifespan. Hells yeah, that's the truth. Loose skin is way better than being overweight. Way better. Brianna, looking at the calories in wine I like made me realize it's not worth it. I'm bougie now. It has to be the best for those calories. Oh, yeah. Losing weight and tracking my calories made me a much more bougie eater. I love that word, bougie. But I had to raise my standard. I mean, big time. All right. Let's see. Let's look over your TikTok. What other questions y'all got? Am I a Pisces? No, I'm a Sagittarius. How do I handle all the foods during the holidays? Usually with my hands. Sometimes I'll use a fork and a knife and a plate. That's usually how I handle it. I assume you're meaning not literally how do I handle it. The way I handle food during the holidays is I have some. I don't tell myself I won't. I give myself a reasonable thing, which is I tell myself that, hey, if you would like to have some, you can. Just have a reasonable portion. The specific foods you eat aren't the problem. It is always the volume that is the problem. This is where caloric awareness can be so helpful. It can be so helpful to have that. Hey, by the way, while I'm thinking about it, before I forget, I am hosting a free webinar. It is called Why is the Way? Anybody that attended last year's Why in the Way, do me a favor, give a shout out in the chat so people can know I'm not kidding when I say I've done it before. It's for real. I actually did do it before. But this year is all completely revamped and updated. So if you want to join this, you can head on over to whyistheway.me. Thank you for the sticker. Whyistheway.me. Just put your first name, last name, email, and that'll register you for the event completely free. Here's what I love about it. We're going to go over your why. I'm going to teach you some tools and techniques to connect with your why on this journey. We're also going to map out the journey. I have been teaching weight loss for years. I have seen repetitive patterns. I'm going to teach you these repetitive patterns so that you can know where you're at on the journey and know what is coming. That doesn't mean it's not going to be hard. I'm sorry, I can't make a hard thing easy. It's actually hard. I'm not going to lie to you, but I can help make sure you actually get there by teaching you some things to help you cultivate some mental toughness, to increase your resilience, to help you get to the end of the journey. And I'm going to give you the 3 C's. These are your success sustainers. I'm going to teach you about the 3 of those on the final day. So I'm very, very excited to teach you about that. There's even more. I'm not even getting to it. I'm jam-packing this thing with knowledge to help you all be successful. So if you want to join that, it is being held on January the 6th through the 8th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. It is on Zoom, and it will be simulcasted to YouTube as well. You can register for that by going to whyistheway.me. Again, that is whyistheway.me. Hey, and if you like this live stream, please be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you'll be notified whenever I go live. I go live once a week, at least. Okay, let's go back, take some comments, and get a drink from my energy drink. All right. Let's see here. Looking at, Joseph said last year was incredible and can't wait for this year. Joseph, I think you're going to like this year's. This year's was great. All right. Coming over here to TikTok. Indiana was at 328 pounds, and today now 253. Hell yeah. Has losing weight constantly following your advice. Great job. Great job. Hello from South Africa. Hello to you too. Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see if you got any more. Fawn Ghoul sent me a Facebook message. I don't respond to Facebook messages. I can't even read most of them. I get way too many. So I apologize. I probably won't be able to see it and get to that. Ace of Hearts asked here earlier, what is the best way to gain caloric awareness? Okay. The best way to gain caloric awareness is to weigh your food and look it up in a calorie tracking app. You don't even have to track it. Caloric awareness is about looking at something and going, I know how many calories is in this. What, 10? Yeah, 10. All right. I know how many calories is in it. That's all you need to know. Just knowing that is valuable. Just knowing how many calories are in the food. You don't even have to track it. You can, but you don't have to. It makes a big difference just knowing. Ace of Hearts, do I need a scale? Yeah, you really need a kitchen scale. Like, getting control of your weight means getting control of your food. It is much easier to get control of your food if you can quantify your food intake somehow. And that's where a kitchen scale can be tremendously powerful to have that, because you can weigh your food. When I make my coffee, let me give an example that has nothing to do with weight loss. So I got one of those Nespressos. I dig it. I like my Nespresso. Anyway, it makes a lot of foam at the top. And so I can't see how much creamer I'm adding to it. So I put my coffee cup on the scale and I turn it on to zero it out, and I add the same amount of creamer by weight every time. Not because I'm tracking calories, it's because I want my coffee to taste the same every time, right? And I can't see because of the foam, right? I'm using the scale to give me the awareness of what is in my food. Humbo, do I know a hunter? I do know a hunter. I know many hunters. I both know people that hunt, and I know people named Hunter. Going by volume is not as good as weighing. Why? That's actually, I wouldn't say that as objectively like a universal thing. It depends. Some things are better figured out by weight. Some things it's easier to figure out by volume. Weight is often going to be more accurate, but sometimes it's just a pain in the ass. So it's really more about learning both. Great question. All right, let's see. River, what do we got here? It just occurred to me that I've been going to the gym pretty consistently for a year. Started off being able to just barely run 1 mile. Now I can run 7+ miles. Dude, fantastic. I was thinking about it the other day. It's like, because I'm experiencing like probably my first real major slump in fitness since I started my journey, like big one that's like I'm having a hard time push through it. Like my running is great. My running's going very happy. But the rest of my fitness, I've been struggling. And it's okay, right? It's normal. I knew that was going to be the case. It's just it finally happened. And, you know, the novelty of being thin is wore off. There comes a point. Actually, TikTok, you're not going to be able to see this. I'm about to use the whiteboard, and you don't have any means of seeing the whiteboard. So, hey, TikTok, if you want to watch the whiteboard that I'm about to pull up right here, you can head on over to youtube.com and type in Chris Terrell Coaching, and you can hop in and join the live stream. But if you do that, that will let you see the whiteboard that I'm about to pull up on the screen. All right. First, let's do that. So, hey, everybody, you're on YouTube. If you like this, please be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell. You'll be notified whenever I go live for other future videos. All right, let's see. Is the iPad... Is it going to cooperate? iPad. Heck yeah. There we go. All right. So here's the fun thing. So we all have this place where we begin our journeys. One day we wake up and we realize we're fat. And we begin to run away from being fat. We're running away from it. It's very normal. Part of the journey. Most of us start it. We go on this phase. We realize we're fat. I call this this moment of realization. I call this a oh shit moment. It's an oh shit moment. You know, you get on the scale. You said, I'll never let myself get above 260 pounds. You see 300 and you're like, oh shit. You know, it's like, or maybe one from my personal life. Family pool party. Right? Diving competition. Normally it's not me as the big boy. Normally it's not my show. But sometimes when it's biggest splash, well, that's when the big boys get to shine. And it's my time to shine. And because I'm a fat boy. And I'm standing there on the edge of the diving board, right? And my little toddler niece comes up, points up to me and says, why's your belly stick out so much? And everyone's looking at me. Whole family, like 20 some odd people looking at me. It's like, oh... shit. You know, you just got this moment of clarity of what you've done. This happens. This is how many a journey starts. It's this, oh shit, what have I done? I got to do something about this. But we find ourselves here and we are running away from being fat. Right? It's super normal. And let's say here, you know, with this fat here, you know, comparing myself, in my case, we'll say it was 290 pounds. All right. That's what I'm running away from. You know, and then when you have Chris over here, you know, and he's at 195 pounds after 20 some odd months, you know, he's over here. He's feeling pretty happy. But you know what Chris is doing? Chris is still in many ways here comparing himself to here in the beginning. 195 pound Chris is comparing himself to 290 pound Chris. Feeling pretty good. Well, then more time progresses, right? I've hit my goal weight, so let's rearrange this. So, you know, we've made my goal. And it's still pretty easy to keep going because I'm still comparing myself to the beginning. I'm doing great. And now I get on the other side of the goal and I keep going. You know, I've been maintaining my weight this whole time here. And you know what? You know what I'm still doing? I'm still comparing myself to where I was. But here's the thing that's interesting. And I knew this was going to happen because I've worked with enough people to see that this happens. Eventually, that doesn't matter anymore. Comparing yourself to your old weight is no longer motivating. It's no longer motivating because it's been so long. And what ends up happening is when you're here in this point, you know, let's say, and it's not exactly the same, but when you're in here, thin equals exciting. It's exciting to be thin. There's novelty in it. It's new. I still remember being fat. But you know what? Now that I'm over here, I don't remember as much what it's like to be fat. I mean, I remember, but, you know, those memories fade. And I honestly hope that every single one of you get to this place where the memories fade on the other side. And that's what I hope happens. And so here's what's happening to me is I'm over here. I'm going to move this over a little bit. And now that I'm getting past this point, now thin equals normal. Now thin equals normal. Thin is my new normal. Thin is just how I am now. I've been thin for years. I know I spent more of my years fat and obese, but last several years, I've stayed thin. I've gone through several holidays. I've gone through several special events, crises in my life. I've changed up my fitness, gotten injured. Oh, Mariana asking, where's the presentation visible? Head on over to youtube.com. Type in Chris Terrell Coaching. I'm live over there right now. You'll be able to see the visuals there. So there's a natural phase that we all have to do. A natural part of this journey, right? All right. So phase one. This first phase that we all find ourselves going through. And that is running away from being fat. Okay? We begin our journey, many of us, by running away from being fat. That's what I did. But you see, somewhere along the journey, what you need to do, you need to make the turn. Instead of running away from fat, you need to run towards being thin. I'm not running away from being the fat person anymore. I'm running towards being the thin person. You have to make that turn. All right? And what we're talking about is different sources of motivation, different sources of whys. I don't like how it feels to be big and fat. I don't like the acid reflux. I don't like my belt digging into my gut. I don't like dropping something on the ground and not being able to pick it up without making it a really big ordeal. I don't like feeling uncomfortable in my clothes. I don't like feeling like a sausage shoved into my shirt, watching my buttons hang on, going, damn it, I got to buy another shirt. And I hate clothing shopping because I have to buy things because they fit, not because I like them, right? I'm running away from all these negatives. And that'll have some power. That will push you away from it for a little bit. But at a certain point, you have to switch from running away to running to something. What is the thing I'm running towards? I got to know what that is. That's running towards being thin. Thin is the goal. Just like I don't want to be fat. Why? Because I don't like the acid reflux. I want to be thin. Why? Because I like dropping things on the ground and not caring. I like playing with my kids. I like buying clothes because I like them, not because they fit. I like being able to shop off the rack. Whatever, right? These are the benefits that are coming. One moment. So this progression is normal, but you're not done. You're not done here at this point. You see, you're running towards being thin, but now, eventually, you get there. Now what? All right, what happens when you get thin? I'm not running away from it. I got it. So here's what you do. You now have to go through the next phase of being thin is awesome. Being thin is awesome. God, man, it's so awesome. Y'all, after being fat most of my life, being thin and in shape, pairing it also with good self-confidence and high self-esteem, it's fucking awesome. It's the best. It's so amazing. I love it. I would just sit there in the mirror and just stare at myself and be like, it's real. This is really what it looked like. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's worth everything. It really, if I could take the feelings that I feel being in this thin and in shape body, put it in a bottle and give it to you, you do whatever it takes to get here. And that's what comes in phase 3. Being thin is awesome. And we turn around, we tell everybody about it. We try to get other people to do it. Oh, you're fat. You don't want to be fat anymore. Come over here to Thinville. Let me tell you how to do it. Like, oh, it's normal. It's such a fun phase, right? Now, the people at the beginning, sometimes we find those of us in phase 3, sometimes we're annoying, right? We found this new tasty, exciting thing. We want to tell everybody about it, but that's okay. That's okay. Eventually, we do this and then we're here again. Now what? Now what? Right? Because what started happening is now it is like this is the new normal Or in other words, the novelty of thinness is gone. The novelty of being thin is gone. It's gone. It's crazy, but that happens. You reach this place. You've already lost all the weight. You've been keeping it off. And now, like, maybe you're putting on a few more pounds. Your fitness started dipping. You're not paying as much attention about your food. Just all across the board, you're just sort of backing off a little bit. Why do you think a lot of people gain their weight back after 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, right? Like, you're like, you had it. You had it. Why'd you gain the weight? It's because they reached phase 4. When the novelty of thin is gone, when the novelty is gone, we have now entered the age of complacency. And see, here's the problem with the age of complacency is your weight regain will now happen very slowly. Very slowly. You got to look at your timetable over years to see it. You can't see it over months because it's too slow. Oh, it's not that bad. I'll do it later. It's a few pounds. I don't care. Look at me. I can eat as much as I want. And I've barely gained any weight. I've gained like 2 pounds. 6 months. I'm doing whatever I want. I don't know that I need to exercise that much. I don't need to watch what I eat that much. I don't know. I need to pay attention to all sorts of things like this stuff. Maybe I was just being too diligent before. Maybe I don't need all this stuff. I need to start to back off. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just back off. Just a little bit. Not even realizing that it's very easy to correct and get back, but it's really easy to not. And you have just started the slippery slope. You don't even know. You don't even know. And here's the cool thing. I have finally reached the complacency phase. I've known about it because I've been studying success for years, and I've seen too many other people on the other side of success reach complacency, arrogance. I'm cured. I'm fine. I'll never be big again. Sure, maybe. But I've seen many a person say that and it not work out. Those stories aren't hard to find. They're easy to find. There's a lot of them. And so for me, I'm finding I've reached a bit of a complacency phase. And you know what all this stems from? It all happens because the me on the other side that's already lost all the weight, you know who I'm comparing myself to? I'm comparing myself to Fat Chris. Here I am, years later, still comparing me to Fat Chris. And at a certain point, it's time to stop comparing yourself to where you started. And I know for some of you at the beginning, you're like, what? Like I'm talking about stuff that's 3, 4, 5 years into your future. That's because I expect that you're going to be successful. You're going to need to know this stuff. Everything I'm talking about right now, if you plan to win, you need to know what I'm talking about right now. You're going to lose all the weight and you're going to get complacent. And that's normal. You're going to lose all the weight and you're going to be still comparing yourself to where you were and not looking at where you are and where you're heading. Not realizing that you have actually just ever so slightly steered the ship of your body back towards the old life. Don't even know it. Completely unaware. Because it's going to take 4 or 5 years to get there. So that's where I'm at. My advice, shift away from running from being fat to running to being thin. And then as quickly as possible, find as lots of reasons as you can to be thin that have nothing to do with having been formerly fat. Don't let complacency get you. Now, here's the crazy thing is complacency will get some of y'all on the journey. Some of y'all will be plenty of ways in. You're 70 pounds down feeling like a badass, but let's be real. You're still 80 pounds overweight, but we ain't going to talk about that. Because right now, all I want to talk about is the 70 pounds and how amazing I feel. Because you're comparing yourself to at your biggest, and you're not comparing yourself to where you're not yet. You're comparing yourself to where you're not anymore. And then somewhere in the middle of the journey, the complacency sets in and you quit and you give up and you stop. Oh, I'll pick it back up after the holidays. Oh, I'll pick it back up on Monday. Oh, I'll get better at this. Maybe. Tabs. I can't stop emotional eating. You can. Tell me why you can't. Tell me why you can't. I bet you can. But I will, maybe there's something I can't, maybe something I don't know. So if you could, Tabs, tell me why you can't. Like why it's impossible. Because when you say I can't, you're telling me you're not capable of it. That literally you're screwed. That there's nothing you can do. And I don't believe that. I just don't believe you. But I am going to have an open mind. And I want you to tell me why you can't. And we'll see if it's true. So, all right. My Liberty Lady. Slow creep, 50 pounds. It's off now. Yes, you must keep vigilant. You must keep vigilant. Tabs, menopause. Menopause is not a reason for not being able to stop. My youngest just moved out, and I have a lot of reasons that make me so sad. Okay. I believe you. But I'm not hearing a reason why you can't stop emotional eating. I'm still not reading it. I hear you. You got menopause. It's not a free pass. Lots of people have menopause and they don't emotionally eat. Your youngest son just moved out. Okay, welcome to motherhood. Sorry to take a bit of a casual or a very kind of callous response there, but you're over here using your son leaving as an excuse to damage yourself. I mean, I don't know. How do you think your son would feel about that, knowing that you're doing that? Your son is going off into the world. Or youngest. Oh, it doesn't say son. Your youngest is going off into the world, which means mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. And you're making this about you? I know you're sad. I know you're sad. I know going through menopause sucks. Your body was one way and now suddenly, without checking in with you, it changed on you how it works. That sucks. So you just gonna give up? You gonna tap out? Call it good? Your youngest was supposed to move out. That's always the goal. Would you rather your youngest stay in your home? Is that what you want? And that means you weren't able to teach your kid how to launch? Here's your son. Excellent. Your son. This is a good thing. You should be celebrating. Unless you were getting all of your value from something and you just lost it. You can stop emotional eating. You can. But as long as you say you can't, you will be right. But not because you believe the truth. It's because you have the power to make sure you're right. So I want to challenge you to stop saying or repeating the notion that you can't stop. You might not know how. That's true. It might be really difficult. That's definitely true. But it's possible. You have to begin with possibility of success. You have to. I get it. You got some things that are making you sad. You've got some emotions you're working through. That's okay. Be sad. I want you to pick up this book, The 8 Keys to End Emotional Eating by Dr. Howard Farkas. The 8 Keys to End Emotional Eating. Go pick up this book. It's an excellent book. Hey, have I mentioned yet that I'm doing a free event? I'm doing a free event. I do a free event every year. And it is a workshop designed to completely revolutionize how you see the weight loss journey. I want you to see the weight loss journey through entirely new eyes. I call it Why is the Way? And I'm going to teach you how to build a sustainable weight loss journey. I'm going to give you the roadmap, taking everything I've learned about weight loss and teach you the path that you're going to navigate. It's free. So I'm going to help you by giving you some tips and some techniques for uncovering and revealing your why, how to connect with your sources of motivation. I'm going to map out all the distinct phases of the journey, and there are distinct phases of the journey. And then I'm going to give you several techniques and tools that you can use to improve your mental toughness and to sustain your progress. It's all over 3 days, an hour and a half each day. I hold nothing back from you. I am treating this as if each of you is paying me $500 to attend. That's how much I'm putting into this. And you can come completely for free from a money standpoint, but you do have to give me your time and your attention. And it's January 6th through the 8th at 6:30 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And you can register to that by heading on over to whyistheway.me. That's whyistheway.me. Hey, and if you like the live stream, please be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell. You'll be notified every time I go live, and you can join my live streams. All right, let's head on back over, take some questions. All right, let's see. What do I think about intermittent fasting? I see no point in doing it for weight loss. It just complicates things, makes it harder, and sets you up for failure in the long term. Sure, it'll help you lose weight in the short term, but it screws you in the long term. So if you want to set yourself up for a longer term challenge, intermittent fast. If you are all about prioritizing short-term results at the expense of long-term sustainability, intermittent fasting is the plan for you. But if you are interested in long-term results that stick, like what I've done for years, don't touch intermittent fasting with a 10,000-foot pole. Stay away from it. These are tasty. How should we switch to maintenance calories? Reverse dieting is what you're looking for. What have I done for years? Maintained my weight loss. So I've lost weight, took me 26 months to do it, and I've kept it off for years. The keeping it off is the part I'm actually more proud of, just for the record. Like, lots of people have lost 100 pounds. Like, lots of people. Lots and lots and lots of people do it and gain it back. I no longer think losing 100 pounds by itself is impressive. I know. That's sort of a slap in the face, anybody that's lost 100 pounds. But I'm one of those. And I now get to say I've compared losing 100 pounds and keeping it off. Yep, the keeping it off's the bigger flex. It's the bigger flex. So Hale. Great to hear while I'm miserable on OMAD. Yeah, just ditch OMAD. OMAD is like, that's shortcut hack territory. I don't do weight loss with shortcuts, hacks, and tricks because it's not sustainable, right? I'm all about going after the source. Finding the root cause of the weight gain and addressing that. When we find the root cause of the weight gain and address that, you don't do shit like OMAD or like intermittent fasting because those aren't fixing the solution. Like, not at all. Sean, any advice on breaking the barrier to externalizing our thoughts? Oh, that's a good question. I've always struggled with getting outside my own head. You get yourself a journal. This is one of my old ones. I enjoyed this journal. Oh, I forgot I did this one. So you just write down your stuff in a journal. You just write it down on a piece of paper. Just start writing. Literally just sit down with a timer for 5 to 10 minutes with this and a pen, and you just write for 10 minutes. Just write. Don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate it. Just write. You have to practice. Practice taking your thoughts and putting them on a piece of paper. And it does take practice. And there's nothing wrong with giving yourself the space to practice. Chris, after losing 184 pounds, hell yeah, I started getting complacent and gained 20 back. Chris gets it. Seeing the scale woke me up. I'm back down 10 pounds and locked back in. Chris gets it. Right? Unfortunately, I had to learn it the 20-pound way. But look, the way I look at it is it's easy to peel off 4 or 5 extra pounds. It sucks to peel off 20, right? So we got to keep an eye on ourselves. We got to be diligent. Definitely. Intermittent fasting did teach me not to fear hunger, but it's not a good long-term choice for me. There's plenty of ways to learn that without intermittent fasting. I'm glad it gave you that experience. I truly am. But I wouldn't recommend it to anybody else because there's other means of learning about hunger without using intermittent fasting. I'm glad it worked. I mean, really, it worked. So I'm not going to sit here and say it didn't work for you. It clearly did. But it's just something that I don't recommend. How many journals do I have I completed? Uh, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 or 12, I think I have completed. Um, but only 1, 2, 3, 4. But only 5 of them are personal. The rest of them are work journals. Like they were more for my business mind. But for me personally, and all the personal ones are in the last 5 years. So the last 5 years is I've done, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I've done all 5 in the last 5 years. Wow. Actually, I've never totaled that up. It's kind of fun that you asked me that. Sterling, I'm down 90 pounds and where I want to be. Still have to decide to do this every morning. Normal? Well, I don't know what you're deciding to do every day. Like, I don't decide to do my habits. I just live my life, right? I lost weight by going after the source, which was my lifestyle, habits, routines, environment, community, and belief systems. And I changed all 6 of those. So if we're talking like, do I have to commit to doing things? I don't have to commit to doing as many things. And the way I teach weight loss is I don't want that to be the case because it takes a lot of effort. But do you commit to taking care of yourself? Do you commit to doing work? Yeah. I mean, I still have to commit to me every day. I still have to commit to worrying about myself, or not worrying, but caring. But I don't necessarily have to do things like committing to eating when I'm hungry. That's just how I do it. Now, do I sometimes need to because it gets away with me? Yes. But if you do it the way I try to teach, it's like, I really want to have it by the time you're getting to the finish line, you've lost all the weight. Like you really habitualize a lot this and you're feeling a lot more comfortable. Missy, what is my stance on children knowing about their parents struggling to lose weight? I think it's wonderful. I think kids should know about it. I think we should treat weight with kids the same way we would treat our teeth and the way we would treat our money. I think we've made it weird by making it weird. I think we need to talk about it. I think a reason why a lot of people are obese is because people don't talk about it. Like, no, it's not okay if you're obese. And no, it's not okay to do nothing. You need to do something about it if you were 70 pounds overweight. Like yes, you should feel a little guilty about this. Not like, oh no, I'm a terrible person, because your self-worth has nothing to do with your weight. But it'd be the same thing if you had a medical condition like an infected cut. It's like, I should probably do something about this. Bad things are going to happen if I don't deal with this infected cut. I want you to think of the same thing. It's like, I should do something about this. Bad things are going to happen if I stay 70 pounds overweight with these habits that go with it. So I think parents should talk about it with their kids. Now, I don't know, that's different if we're talking about the kids' weight themselves. I have feelings about that. But I think kids should see if their parent is struggling, they should hear the parent talk about it. But I think parents could do it in a way that makes it terrible. And they could do it in a way that's helpful, right? If this is an empowerment journey, a victory journal, this is me overcoming, that's great. If this is I'm a victim and there's nothing I can do with it, and maybe this week will be the thing, I just need a little hope that maybe I'll lose some weight because I can't believe in myself until the scale tells me I can believe in myself. That, I think, is some problematic bullshit that a lot of people's parents gave kids. And I think we should stop giving kids the notion that somehow the scale has a damn thing to do with your self-worth. I think that we got to deal with. Like, we need to separate that. So I'm going to hop off that soapbox before I keep going, because I could keep going. Chris, intermittent fasting sent me into complacency. It made me get into restrict binge cycle that had me craving food more than I ever did 2 years into calorie deficit and normal routine habits. Yes. I mean, boo, that sucks. But yes, Chris, thank you. Because you are sharing what is a very common, the more common outcome for people when they do intermittent fasting is it leads to this restrictive mentality. Yeah, I'm not a fan of intermittent fasting. I see very little reason to do it. Very little reason to do it. Missy, yes, I mean my weight. My daughter is health conscious and I think I need to learn from her ways. Yeah, be open about it. If it's a struggle you have, be vocal about the struggle. Let your child know that you're working through it. Like, it's okay because your child's watching. And if you go and learn from your child, that sends a powerful message that's very, very good, I think. So, Megan, haven't seen me on your For You page. Well, glad to be here. Glad to be here. Let's see. Let's look here on YouTube. Jenny. I started looking at it as my home is not an empty nest. It's a launching pad. Ooh, I like that. You are in control of your own mind and perspective. My I can't has become how can I. I like looking at that. My home is not an empty nest. It's a launching pad, and it's empty because mission successful. I like that. I like that. Oh, and Candace dropped a great joke. What's the Grinch's least favorite band? The Who. My wife's got the best jokes. All right, I'm going to wrap up here, everybody. Hey, this is really fun. I enjoyed coming here and saying hello and howdy do to everybody. If you have not registered yet for my free workshop, totally free. But I want you to, free doesn't mean cheap. I am treating this as if every single person that's coming to it is spending $500 per ticket. That's how I'm approaching this. And I could not be more excited for this year's if I tried. It is called Why is the Way. I'm going to teach you how to get connected with your why, give you some techniques and tactics to get connected with your sources of motivation, as well as I have been teaching weight loss now for years, and I have seen some repetitive patterns. There's a roadmap, so to speak, a natural cycle that a lot of people go through, and I want to tell you about those so you know what to look for, and I'm going to give you a toolkit to increase the resilience in your life. It's going to cover 3 days from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on each day. I'm going to teach you about my Success Mountain framework and give you the 3 C's, which are I'm calling your success sustainers. I'm going to teach you about those. You can register for that by going to whyistheway.me, putting in your first name, last name, email, and I'll notify whenever we go live. You will be able to join it in Zoom. It is not a webinar. It is a Zoom with a camera feed. I want to be able to see you. I have a big screen here, and I love to see a wall of faces. I might even bring in another screen so I can see even more faces because I want to see as many faces as I can, and I think it's awesome. But whyistheway.me to register for that completely free but completely revolutionary workshop that will completely change how you look at weight loss and help you really start the year off right. And this is for anyone at any phase of the journey, even if you lost it. Also, at that event is where I'll be talking about my maintenance lessons and programs that I'm launching next year because, hey, the Guild has done a good job. I got a lot of people that have lost weight and now they're ready to keep it off. So it's time to provide that service. The thing I love about my weight loss membership, the Guild, if you come to a Guild meeting, you will see people at every phase of the journey. You will see people at their biggest and people that are on the other side and everywhere in between. That's what a weight loss group and community is supposed to look like. That's what it's supposed to look like. Hey, Jamie, if you're getting an error code, that probably means you typed it in wrong. Whyistheway.me. I've had it for 2 years, so I know the link works. So make sure you're checking that in .me. And don't do the www, just whyistheway.me. And that'll take you right there. So good to see you all, everybody. Those of you in the Guild, see you in a couple hours for my holiday special. Have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you all soon.